A reflection for the fifth Sunday after Pentecost. Praise be Jesus Christ, now and forever. From the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5. You have heard that it was said to them of old, Thou shalt not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. But I say to you, that whosoever is angry with his brother shall be in danger of the judgment. It was said to them of old. Put like that, you'd think it was just some fusty old tradition, perhaps that the hated Pharisees had invented. Something we can change, well, just because it is old, and was said to them, not to us. It's a very popular attitude today, just the way we like to, well, pull down venerable buildings with long history because they're there, burn our history books and throw away our literary achievements, cancel culture as a whole. It was said to them of old. That's our Lord saying that. It was said to them of old, not as if it were written on tablets of stone even. Wait a minute. Thou shalt not kill was written on tablets of stone. After the exodus from Egypt, Moses gathered the elders at the foot of the Mount Sinai, and they ate and drank in the presence of God, and he climbed the mountain and received the law from God himself, whilst wreathed in the billowing cloud of the presence. He brought down those tablets to the mountain and presented them to the people, at the second attempt, of course, and they were accepted as their law. And in fact, written on tablets of stone is an expression which means today something absolute from God. But I say to you, Jesus sounds as if he's going to contradict the law given to Moses. Well, to today's generation, that would be no big deal, would it? Relativism or postmodernism is the thinking that says there's nothing in stone, nothing permanent, no absolute truth. A variant of it is evolutionism, the thinking which presumes that things are always going to get better and that our predecessors were inferior. There's a technological arrogance there, which forgets that evil comes from the human heart and must be challenged and overcome right there. Today's generation presumes that the church is going to change her way of thinking on whatever topic they're focusing on at the moment. That's why there's shrieking and intimidation of churchgoers in the United States after the Roe versus Wade judgment. They're promising a summer of rage. They didn't believe Catholics meant it. Thou shalt not kill. Sadly, we can contrast that with our low-profile weakness in Britain, and that's no disrespect to some of the people who have indeed defended that particular law, thou shalt not kill. We've got no fire in our belly to take on institutions like the BBC, the education system, and indeed others too. Evolutionism is why the government-supported bureaucratic church in Germany decides at its synod to have women priests and homosexual marriage. There was a response, an open letter written by United States bishops, including Archbishop Aquila, protesting against these German issues, and a German bishop replied that he did not believe that tradition is binding. Can you believe that? He did not believe that tradition is binding. Archbishop Aquila responded, if that is the case, it would make us very Protestant. You have heard it was said to them of old, but I say to you. So, is Jesus a relativist, a postmodernist? An evolutionist, Protestant, someone who believes that tradition isn't binding. Has he reduced what was written on tablets of stone and placed in the Ark of the Covenant to dust? Well, to just an oral tradition. And is he coming up with his own evolved one? That would be postmodern indeed, denying absolutes like the Ten Commandments, which can be improved on by his own say-so. Well, what about that claim of our Lord, I am the way, the truth, and the life? Surely that gives a lie to all of this. Well, actually, every postmodern says I am the way, the truth, and the life. You are your truth, and I am mine. That's why it's becoming a crime to deny the pronoun I want to be called by. Other people have got to play my game. Have you heard of the expression dead name? If someone has undergone an operation, change of sex, then that's the name I was given before I had it. And now I have a different name. Today I'm someone else. Tomorrow? Dead names. Very naive, of course, because the stage is set for the battle of my truth against yours. We've had that before. That will be decided by the age-old method of power. You really need to have a little sense of history, a little sense of the fact that the Soviet Union, for example, was built on lies. That is the insight of Solzhenitsyn in his works. And we, it would appear, are beginning to fall into the same problem. Power versus authority. Our Lord lives by the authority given to him by his Father. Oh yes, that's a problem for today, isn't it? He doesn't throw down the Ten Commandments. We know that immediately before the lines from today's Gospel, he said, I do not think that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am come not to destroy, but to fulfill. So it's very important that we understand that the Lord is not turning over the law. But the law did not fulfill the task of reconciling us to God. We could not keep the law in our fallen state. Those who did their best to do so included the Pharisees, but they ended up twisting the law to suit themselves. The problem of the heart. And our Lord gives us those sobering words today. For I tell you that unless your justice abound more than that of the scribes and Pharisees, you shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. The law is a measure, but it is not going to get us to heaven. We can't keep it. We need grace. Especially when we look at what our Lord was saying about what you might call his extension of the law. Whosoever is angry with his brother shall be in danger of the judgment. Okay, so how can we distinguish the teaching of Jesus from another? Why should we take this particular prophet and leave the others aside? Why can't we just perhaps look at a video or a podcast of one of the gurus of today instead? Because he is God. He and the Father are one. They are in continuity. there is a sense of wholeness, and that wholeness is of the Creator, and the Creator is dealing with us, the created. We also believe, of course, in liturgical continuity. What was holy yesterday cannot be abrogated today. That's so important to understand as an aspect of the whole business of absolutes. There's no relativism here. What the Lord reveals is truth. He completed the paschal sacrifice on Calvary. He did not throw it out. When our Lord challenges us about the superficiality of our keeping his commandments, we understand this is the point on this passage. Jesus said to him, "Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with thy whole heart and with thy whole soul and thy whole mind." Yes, are we superficial in our keeping of the commandments? I haven't killed anybody. Maybe you have been angry with your brother. Oh, it's far too much. Of course it is. But the Lord wants us to love without limits. He wants us to abandon ourselves to him and to his love. What he reveals is truth, and truth and love go together. The second command is like to this: thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. That is a summary of the law. Let's not throw out the absolute. Let's not destroy what has gone before that is truth. Let's not live in a postmodern, relativistic way. The world is doing that right now, and it's making a very big mess for itself. The Lord wants his law of love to be written on our hearts, not just on tablets of stone. And our job is to help him get it there. Praise be Jesus Christ, now and forever.